Hello and good morning, listeners. Welcome back to Almus Market Mornings with Shikhar Garg. And it's quite steady days going on for the financial markets. But yet there was a small surprise by the Reserve Bank of Australia as the Australian Central Bank in their policy meeting decided to raise rates by 25 basis points. Now, this led to a rally by Aussie against the dollar, but rest of the majors remained in a range-bound action, and so did oil and USD. So we have the Indian Central Bank discussion coming up now, and we should have the results by tomorrow as to what exactly RBI has their thoughts on the interest rate front. And as the market has majorly discounted a pause, Pankaj, I'd like to know from you what is the existing market scenario and what's market expecting.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks, Shikhar. Basically, short-term volatilities continue to be DXY around 104 and Euro at 1.07. So I'm thinking most of the action will happen now in next week. Market will be taking cues from the next week US CPI data and FOMC outcome. As of now, FOMC basically market is pricing that there won't be any hike, and there is a 80% probability of that. But what kind of a statement, whether it will be a pause, pivot, we will be looking at that. Now coming back to another part of the Atlantic Ocean is basically Europe. Now ECB monthly surveys continuously show a marked fall in consumer inflation expectations. Now with the year ahead rate down from 5% to 4.1%, and 3 years inflation expectations move from a 2.9% to 2.5%. This gives a lots of basically leverage to European central banks to decide on a rate actions now, because markets are pricing a very high interest rates in Europe, but expectations, according to the commentaries, whether that will happen or not happen. But important thing is that ECB not had made a comment that a short-term financial stability risk loom around the corner. Let's see what will unfold there. Yesterday, Yuan got weaker after reports that the last week China asked the biggest central bank to cut deposit rates. I'm assuming they would have mentioned to many other banks also that you start cutting rates. There is also report that PBOC might be ready to cut the reserve requirement ratios. These are the speculations, but which would unleash a further liquidity into market. And this led Yuan to weaker to 7.14 overnight, currently dealing around 7.12. As Shikhar already mentioned that Audi and gains in gains were handsome yesterday, and last 2-3 days it was moving higher against the dollar. Reserve Bank of Australia has surprised market by raising 25 basis point from 385 to 410. Now people are still pricing another rate hike also, looking at the commentary from RBA. Today is a Canada rate decision, and given the strength in the recent Canada data, a hike cannot be ruled out. And that basically means that the Canadian bank also is following what RBA had, Reserve Bank of Australia did. There are a couple of things we just want to take out from the recent reports. Yesterday, a report released by Google, Temasek, and Ben Group on India internet economy, and that highlights that it is likely to reach $1 trillion. Digital economy is likely to reach $1 trillion by 2030. That is almost 20% of the Indian economy by that point of time. Currently, India has got 700 million plus users, 350 million digital payments, and around around 250 million online shoppers. No, 250 million online shoppers, around 22. Basically 22 crores, 23 crores of online shoppers are there, and this ticket will be termed as a digital ticket according to them. Another trivia I just want to share is basically US S&P 500 performance this year has been very handsome. The index has provided 11.31% return in this calendar year. Basically, indices are constructed by providing higher weightage to large capitalization company. If all the stocks in S&P 500 would have been provided equal weight, then this performance would be only 1.92%. There is a massive gap of 9.4%. That kind of extreme returns are there in the market. Tomorrow, RBI MPC will be announcing its outcome, and it's most likely to be maintained status quo. But I also reiterate what I mentioned yesterday, they will maintain that महंगाई की जंग अभी तक खत्म नहीं हुई है. We will be watch and will be taking actions according to the incoming data. Yesterday, INR moved, USD INR moved in the range of 80 to 55 to 80 to 65, and today it's likely to open at 80 to 55 and likely to be in the range of 40, 65. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, Pankaj, that was quite good. And I think महंगाई के साथ जंग तो across central banks चल रही है, and it's gonna continue for a while as per the commentaries that we've been getting. But it's quite interesting to watch the equity performances. I mean, if we see Japanese equity index, it has barely given any negative days. And on the other hand, as you mentioned, S&P performance, if we compare apart from the major seven, the performance has been more or less flat for most of the equity stocks involved in S&P. So that's quite interesting uh, off balance or disbalance in the markets that we are observing. And rather, we have also seen that performance across the globe has been much better than S&P. So that's where the investors are seen. Another good pointer that I really like to see and watch it happen is the Indian digital economy growing to USD 1 trillion, almost 20% of the target by 2030, according to Google and Temasek. But on the financial market front, it's the action is expected by next week on the developments from the FOMC, as well as the release of CPI for the US economy. Other than that, the high interest rate expectations for Europe may continue to be observed by the market participant, but it's the actionables by the ECB which is going to be under focused observations. So that's it for today, folks. We shall come back again tomorrow with another round of updates. Thank you so much for listening.